but André spins a hookster around.
Andre the Giant matches. Over the years, WWE has seen many stalwarts cement their legacy in wrestling folklore. None more so than the 7 foot 3 inches, 500-pound plus freak of nature, Andre the Giant. He debuted in a Stamford-based promotion in 1984 and remained one of their biggest attractions until he left the company in 1990. When one has been gifted with such a towering presence, mere appearances can carry you through your career. Not Andre. He was as talented in a squared circle as other greats, which separated him from the rest. Aptly named the 8th wonder of the world, he set out to conquer the wrestling business, and boy did he succeed. Join us now as we celebrate Andre's legacy by looking back at some of his best matches in a wrestling ring. WrestleMania 2 Battle Royale. WWE has held the Andre the Giant Battle Royale every year since 2014 during WrestleMania weekend. The reason? The towering performer prevailed in a 20-man WWF vs. NFL Battle Royale at WrestleMania 2 in 1986. Making Andre synonymous with these ensemble match types over the years. The high-profile 20-man battle featured superstars from the Stamford-based promotion as well as NFL players from past and present. Legends like Bruno Sammartino, Pedro Morales, and future great Bret Hart had also participated in the match. As in any other battle royale, the grappler with a size advantage is always the favorite, and when it comes to Andre, no one even came close to matching his otherworldly stature. The 7 foot 3 inches wrestler was left with Bret Hart and his Hart Foundation associate Jim Neidhart. During the final moments of the clash, the duo tried their best to use the number game in their favor. However, Andre overcame both the members with relative ease and won the star-studded match. Adding a battle royale commemorating Andre's legacy in the company is a touch of class from WWE. Andre the Giant vs. The Ultimate Warrior, WWE Saturday Night Main Event 1989, WWF Intercontinental Championship. What has been the recipe for success in WWE through the years? Pitting an up-and-coming wrestler against a proven veteran who has seen many moons in the wrestling industry. Such was the case when the then Intercontinental Champion Ultimate Warrior faced a daunting challenge in the shape of Andre the Giant in a mouth-watering clash. The two performers were involved in many battles during this period. However, this 1989 Saturday Night Main Event clash was hands down their best tussle. Considering Andre's limited mobility between the ropes, the match was surprisingly quick. The champion and the challenger also took the action outside the ring to up the ante a notch. It was the longest duration bout between the pair in terms of time. The only thing missing from this high-octane match was a well-crafted finish. The closing moments of the title encounter saw Warrior pushing Bobby Heenan onto Andre, causing a disqualification. The champion's advantage meant that the eccentric grappler retained his Intercontinental title. If WWE could come up with a fitting end to this fight, it could have ranked much higher in the all-time classics. Nevertheless, seeing these two legends beefing in the squared circle is a treat in itself for the wrestling faithful. Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. WrestleMania 3 for the WWE Championship. Heads are bound to turn when a contest of this magnitude occurs in a WWE ring. In a battle of generations, the then WWE Champion Hulk Hogan defended his title against Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. This match is rightly considered one of the best ever to take place in the Showcase of Immortals, probably why WrestleMania is named as such. The champion immediately attempted an ambitious body slam on his massive challenger, but fell flat on his back in no time, resulting in a close count. The vastly experienced Andre capitalized on Hogan's already sore back area throughout the match with several body slams and even stood on his back. The majority of the title bout was dominated by the 8th wonder of the world, but the resilient Hogan kept standing back up. After a spirited clothesline from the Hulkster knocked Andre off his perch, the champion did the unthinkable as he body slammed his 500-pound plus opponent onto the mat. The move became iconic and was later dubbed the body slam heard around the world. Anyways, Hogan followed it with his finisher, the leg drop, to retain his title in a battle that will be remembered for a long, long time. André the Giant versus Macho Man Randy Savage for the WWE Championship. A showdown between two of the most prized possessions always creates an intriguing plotline in WWE, especially when a top star like André the Giant challenges another top draw like Macho Man Randy Savage for the WWE Championship. The two had been tussling for months before this clash in November 1988. Savage used his trademark double axe handle on André to neutralize his massive opponent. Just after that, he looked to finish the match with his finisher, the flying elbow drop. However, the 500-pound performer wasn't letting go of his title aspirations just yet. He dodged the high-flying maneuver to leave the challenger stranded. André added insult to Savage's injury as he grabbed hold of his valet, Miss Elizabeth's leg. Both the accomplished grapplers were so heavily embroiled in their fight outside the ring that the match ended in a double countout. Again, the champion's advantage came to André's opponent's rescue, and Savage retained his WWE title. André the Giant versus Hulk Hogan, WWF Saturday Night Main Event 1988. You know what's the best thing about classics? You can run it over and over again, but the fans never grow tired of it, as it's that good. So when André the Giant again came up against Hulk Hogan in 1988 Saturday Night Main Event for the WWE Championship, the wrestling fans were again expecting a wrestling masterclass from both these accomplished grapplers. While it wasn't exactly a slow burner like their WrestleMania fight, it was much quicker paced as both the champion and the challenger gained the upper hand at different points. Hogan, who André was holding in a chokehold, escaped his clutches and came up with a splash from the second rope to topple the towering wrestler. He followed it up with a trademark leg drop. However, referee David Hebner got occupied by André's associate Virgil at the ringside, failing to make the count when the Hulkster covered his challenger. This gave the eighth wonder of the world ample time to come up with a suplex. This was where things became controversial as Hebner made a 3 count even after Hogan had clearly lifted his shoulder at 2, crowning André as the new WWE Champion. Things took an awkward turn when he handed his newly won strap to DiBiase. Turned out later that it was all planned by the $1 Million Man in advance, as he had been bribing the officials to get the result in his associate's favor. André the Giant versus Killer Khan, 1981. You do not want to invite the fury of a raging giant, and when you break that giant's leg, albeit in a kayfabe, it does not bode well for you. André the Giant was gunning for revenge when he took on the Mongolian origin Killer Khan in 1981 at a packed Madison Square Garden. Most of André's fights in wrestling had been one-sided, at least from the size viewpoint. This one felt more on the even field, as Khan wasn't just any other opponent. He himself weighed an impressive 311 pounds and stood 6 foot 5 inches tall. But he was against an angry André who was determined to exact a maximum punishments on his rival. To his credit, Khan did not bog down to his scarily massive opponent and went toe-to-toe. The best ploy to extend any feud in the wrestling business is to give the contest a tainted finish. That is what precisely happened, as the gung-ho approach from both the grapplers meant that the bout ended in a double disqualification, excellently setting up Khan as an able foe against André, as both engaged in many battles throughout territory in 1981. André the Giant and Paul Orndorf versus Rowdy Roddy Piper and Cowboy Bob Orton. One more battle saw André the Giant and Rowdy Roddy Piper in opposing teams, albeit with different partners. This time, the towering wrestler teamed up with Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorf, whereas Piper had allied with Cowboy Bob Orton. Naturally, André's tag team was of the baby faces and was up against the perennial heels. The topsy-turvy encounter saw the good guys at their dominant best, as Piper and Orton struggled to cope with them. At one point, the 500-pound-plus grappler choked the Cowboy with his own arm bandage, which Piper subsequently used to neutralize him. The villainous duo gained the upper hand for a moment, but André bit Orton in kayfabe to tag Paul Orndorf in. Sheer chaos reigned as both the teams vied for supremacy. The match's finish saw André countering a high-risk maneuver from Orton with a big boot from a prone position. It proved enough, as Orndorf successfully pinned the Missouri native to pick up the win. Both the heels were none too pleased with the result, but were shoved from ringside by their babyface counterparts. As fans cheered on, surprisingly, this was one of the last times André and Piper shared a wrestling ring. André the Giant versus Killer Kowalski. A young André the Giant meeting his match in the wrestling ring? Yes, please. In another one of his Madison Square Garden classics, he was up against an equally intimidating bad apple, Killer Kowalski, who was himself a force to be reckoned with. When you weigh an impressive 280 pounds and are 6 feet 7 inches tall, hardly anything can faze you. The two Herculean athletes went at it with real intensity and neither pulled their punches. Kowalski had a reputation for being a tireless workhorse in the squared circle. He fully justified his image and took the fight to André. The finish of this match wasn't exactly ideal as the 7 foot 3 inches wrestler gained an exciting count-out victory. The clash, which took place in 1974, established André as an acclaimed athlete in the wrestling industry and made him a top player for years to come. André the Giant and Ted DiBiase versus Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. It doesn't get any bigger than André the Giant teaming up with Ted DiBiase to take on the dynamic duo of Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage at the first ever SummerSlam event in 1988. To further solidify the iconic nature of this huge tag team match, it was referenced by none other than Jesse Ventura. André and Savage kicked off the match, but the towering grappler tagged in his teammate DiBiase moments later. The $1 Million Man was in for a beating as Savage and Hogan took turns on him with quick tags. It wasn't until the 8th wonder of the world took matters into his own hands that the pendulum was shifted in his team's favor. He head-butted both the Hulkster and Macho Man to impose himself in the main event bout. Moreover, the French native used an innovative offense, wherein he repeatedly bounced off his massive frame on Hogan's chest for maximum damage. DiBiase expertly applied the sleeper hold on the Immortal One and kept him away from his partner. After some time, though, Hogan managed to tag in Savage as the seesaw battle continued. André exacted punishment on his adversaries in doses, while DiBiase took some bumps for his team. In the end, Miss Elizabeth, Savage's valet, distracted everyone by taking off her skirt to the bewilderment of many. Crucially, Hogan and Macho Man capitalized on the smokescreen as a double-handed axe, by the latter knocked André out of the ring, leaving only DiBiase at their peril. Savage performed a trademark elbow drop on him for the 3 count, causing the crowd to erupt in joy. Marvelous verdict. After dazzling the world of WWE, André the Giant had a run in the Japan-based AJPW and the Mexico-based Universal Wrestling Association for 2 years. However, he suffered from congestive heart failure in 1993, which resulted in his untimely demise at the age of just 46. The same year, WWE honored André's legacy by inducting him into the inaugural WWE Hall of Fame. He may be dead, but his spirit will live on forever in the wrestling circles.